I'm going to move all these little pumpkins out of the way because that was my Oprah moment. And I'm also going to decide which particular one that I want. Now, I noticed, if you not noticed, my mouse went crazy and dropped. So I have to get real quick on this. And so I can see you as well. Please tell me if you guys are here. Tell me about chatting. Hey, Nancy and Liz, thank you. Thank you for watching. Cute with the doilies. Yes, doilies, totally cute. So I decided before I came on that I was going to use this particular paper. It's a pumpkin pie, apple pie, but you can use whatever kind of paper you want. But I just thought this was kind of cute. So the first thing you need to do with your doily, with your paper doilies. See, I told you these things were hard to get off. We had a conversation about this before we came on about how hard they were, and I was going to try and do it before, but they're still hard to work with. Trick, do not take the glass part off because you're going to need that later. And it's going to be harder to get back on. So what you're going to do is you're going to deconstruct your frame. Number one, I would always say buy frames. You can never have too many frames. I'm finding out a lot of things that I can do with frames. They're very simple crafts, as well as you never know when someone may give you a picture that they want to put up. So then you're going to take your mat and you're going to cut. I also put a ruler because sometimes I don't cut the straightest edges. So just as a guideline, I'm going to set this aside as well because you really don't need this. I'm going to move this up to the top of the screen and take your sharp scissors. Remember what I said about keeping a set of scissors in your craft kit because you don't want oils or anything else like opening a package. I need to actually clean mine because mine has hot glue residue on it, but you don't want your scissors to get gunk on them and get oiled up, especially if you're using it to cut cloth. I would actually recommend buying another pair of scissors for when you go to cut, when you're using for your craft kit, one for cloth and one for knot. And you know what you're going to do is, now I've got it straight, is you're just going to come along and you're just going to cut. And you're just going to cut part of it off so that it fits to this frame. Fits to what was inside the frame. And now you have this. So I have this left over. Now my wording is going to go sideways because I think it's kind of quirky that way. But if you want your wording to go right way, then you would just cut it this way to go into your frame. Next thing is you have multiple doilies. I picked out a bunch of doilies. Now these, we'll have to say that you cannot buy them in any local store. You're going to have to order them. And a lot of these craft things that we're doing for Market Live, you can go on Market Live and buy them. Yes, fall thing, totally. It's fall, y'all. Even though here in North Carolina, it's 85 degrees outside. Last week it was 60. I thought really finally we were getting winter weather, but it's not. But there's all different colors that you can choose from. Like you can do a black pumpkin, you can do a brown one, you can do all different colors. But because the pumpkins are different sizes in a pumpkin patch, you want to choose different sizes pumpkins. And I think for that particular one, I did orange, white, and brown. So I think I'm going to probably go with maybe a light yellow pumpkin. Pull that one out. And sometimes there's two, so you might need two if you want some dimension, so keep that out. And you're going to take your small ones and put them aside or give them to your kids and let them have fun with them, drawing on them, or they can create their own pumpkin patch pictures. What I love about this craft is that you can also do it with your kids. I mentioned earlier when my girls were little, they're now 28, 25, and 21, that we used to do movie nights when my husband was working on Thursday nights. And this is a great way to get your kids involved. With movie nights, we all decided what we were going to eat. So you could do a pumpkin-themed movie night and use these as your craft. Watch a pumpkin-themed movie like Spookily. I love Spookily. He's the square pumpkin. Or you could have your kids plan a pumpkin-themed dinner. Like they could have sandwiches in the shape of pumpkins. They can do pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice lattes for moms or dads or whoever's doing it, because it's all about the pumpkin season. So what I did was I pulled out a white one, I think maybe I might want to add an extra orange one in here. So what I did was I pulled out an orange, a white, and a brown, because I really like the brown a little bit. I like it when they're all different colors. So the first thing you're going to do is kind of flatten out just make sure that it's not. Just flatten it out a little bit. And then you're going to go and you're going to play with it a little bit, the placements of it. Remember what I told you, the most important tip, if I can give you of anything, besides having a hot glue gun and one that has the on-off button and extra glue sticks, is to be able to take a picture of when you lay something out. So I've got my pumpkin here, and I've got the extra piece. And then I said, okay, now I'm going to do four pumpkins today. I decided I'm going to do 4 on this one. So you have the big one, and you have this one, and then you have a little yellow one over here to the side. So you're going to take it and you're going to say, okay, do I really like the placement of this? You're going to take your phone and you're going to take a picture of it. I would take a picture of it with my phone, but my phone's my second camera. So the next thing you're going to do is, remember when I told you, whenever you're working with hot glue, always have something that you can push down on. I have my paintbrush in here, but since I've got my letter opener or my scissors, I can go ahead and use that. So what you're going to do is, my glue stick's on, is you're going to come and you're just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of the doily. And I'm going to actually, remember when I told you can never have too many glue sticks. Always have extra, because I noticed this one's going low. So you're going to take it and you're going to put it on the paper and just let it sit for a minute. Then your little yellow one, little orange one, and your little white one. If you want, you can actually take these and cut it in half so that you have a pumpkin coming off. So you only see part of the pumpkin. I think that's what I'm going to do, so I can have it a little bit smaller. And then my yellow one. So as you notice, I don't do the same thing twice with the crafts. Let your imagination run wild, because you don't have to always do things exactly how people tell you to do them. You can do them in your own way. I think that's one of the biggest things, that when my girls were little, they don't, no, Mama, teacher said to do it this way. No, if you can't comprehend the way that the teacher's telling you to do it and you understand it the other way, 100% do it your way instead of getting frustrated. Now, there are rules that people have to follow, but if you're coming up with the same answer, go for it. So now I'm just gluing these down, and I may have to put a little bit of glue right here. But you don't want to actually put a whole bunch of glue on the tops, because you're going to come back and you're going to add the glue into it. I love fall, even if we got a lingering summer. Yes, yes, fall, lingering summer here. We call it Indian summer, fake fall, because I don't think my gardenias realize it's not spring again, because they're blooming still. They wouldn't bloom, but now they're blooming. So now you have this. You have your little pumpkins in their patch. Now, how are we going to add the little extra detail? Super easy. You're going to take one of your brown bags, because you're brown bagging it, and you're just going to take your scissors, your very sharp scissors, and you're just going to, number one, go to the bottom of the bag and cut off the bag. Cut off the bottom, because it's easier to work with when you don't have that bottom piece. And then you're going to cut it open. So you're going to open up the bag like this. There you go. Your bag is open. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to cut some strips. Since I have 4 pumpkins, I'm going to cut 4 strips. Some could be fat, some could be tiny, for the stems of the pumpkins. Let's set that paper bag aside. And then what I'm going to look is, I'm just going to kind of play with it a little bit to see how big I want the stems. Like this one up top has to be a smaller stem. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that part of the stem off and then you're going to twist. All you're doing is twisting the paper. You're twisting and twisting and twisting until you make a stem for your pumpkin. Now, if you want your stem behind the pumpkin, you can do that and put the leaves on, or the other way around. It's up to you. This one's the same way. This one's a little bit longer. And you're just gonna, this one you can crinkle as well. You can crinkle or twist your pumpkin stem like that. I just crinkled and twisted it. So you have a little bit of variation, because not every pumpkin in the pumpkin patch has the same stem. There are some that were without stems. This one's going to be a little longer because it's going up to the top. And you're just going to twist and pull it out a little bit, depending on how you want your definition. We're going to glue them all down in just a minute. But remember, I said always place things out the way you like them first and then go back and glue, because hot glue is hard to do. This is actually the first picture I showed you. I actually had to do it twice because I did not like the way the first one came out. And when I tried to do the hot glue, I couldn't get it up and I ended up tearing the paper. So always have extra craft supplies. And what I love about doing this particular show on Market Live is that you can actually go and get all your craft supplies at one place and order them at one time, instead of saying you have to go to this store to go here, or you have to order from here. You can go all the way to Market Live and just do it like that. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, head over to Market Live to order these particular products. So what you're going to do is you're going to come and you're just going to put a little bit of hot glue right here, now that you've got it all placed and you like the way it looks. And then you're going to take scissors or your letter opener. It's a great way to make sure that people know that that's your letter opener, is use a little bit of washi tape and cover it so that you know it's your letter opener. Because, or your pens too, for that matter, because you know a lot of people, like, luckily I only work by myself in the blog cabin, but if people were in the blog cabin with me, things, you know how paper and pens and things go off people's desk. So that's a way to tell her that it's yours. Then you're going to add a little bit of more glue here, and you're going to press it down. So you're adding your pumpkin stems right now. A little bit of more glue here. And pumpkin stem down. Now we have one more down, but that one seems to go off the page a little bit, so I may have to cut it just a little bit because it's going to go off. You're going to put hot glue. What is your favorite tool? Because my favorite tool, as you can tell, is hot glue. I think there's going to be one episode where I don't use hot glue, which is going to be, it's actually going to be a very cool and easy vintage type craft coming up for Christmas. But what is your favorite tool that you use? And now, remember when I told you you could come back and then decide if you need to add a little bit of hot glue to it, then you add hot glue to it. I'm going to add a hot glue right here so it stays down. That's a great thing about these letter openers, is they have that big piece there. Okay, so now we have this part done. But it just needs something, doesn't it? It just needs a little bit of something for a little pop. So, I mean, it's pretty like it is, but a little pop. And when I was doing this last week, I'm like, it needs a little pop. Then I walked outside and saw these beautiful, beautiful trees right outside my log cabin door. And they had the different color leaves on it. So I said, you know what? This is great. It incorporates nature. So if you want to get out and walk, and on your daily walks, just grab a whole bunch of leaves for a craft, you can do that as well. And I love that. I'm all about experiencing and repurposing things. So what you're going to do is you're just going to cut your leaves. I just took a couple of branches off the tree. I don't know what kind of tree it is. Love the glue gun and scissors. Yes, it's my favorite. Then you're going to add it, and you're going to come in, and you can either go behind the picture or in front of the picture if you like, and just kind of play with it to see if you need to snip it any. Like that one right there, I think is really cute the way it is, but I think it's a little bit big for it. So I'm gonna go back and see, maybe it might be work here better, or maybe not. But I was like, you know what, it doesn't work there either. So I think I'm gonna have to snip off just a little bit more on it. And so maybe it might work now. And it works now because I snipped off more. And then you're gonna go and you're just gonna place some leaves, like you could take the leaves off the thing, off their stem, and just place them. Whoop, that leaf does not want to place. It's like, no, don't let me go. And you can add it here. I love the colors of this because you still have the green, which obviously, but you also have a beautiful fall color as well to it. And this one's a little bit smaller. So I think I'm going to put it up here and add to it. I think I'm going to put it on top because I think I'm going to put another one on beside it. Like this one right here that's sitting by itself. So it kind of like is like a sprig of the tree. And then this one, I'll just use these and I'll cut these and go from here. And just add your little thing to it. So then all you're going to do is come back and add hot glue and go underneath or on top, which however you want it, and just add your leaves to your pumpkins. I love this because you can also get your kids outside and you can do a little bit of exercising and have them teach them a little bit about nature and have them collect leaves for you. So you don't have to do it and you're out there enjoying, and while they're playing, you're okay. And you're like, okay, moms, I need a break. Let's go outside. And they'll say, yeah, sure. No, but I need you to pick up leaves for me. And they'll leave you alone for just a little bit. And you can make ooh and ah over the leaves that they pick. And then you can show them later on how they do it. I have glue on mine, so I'm gonna press this down a little bit, and I see where I have a little snippet of glue here. Where I told you your scissors are a great friend. You can take your glue and cut off the little strands if you want. If you don't have to. Let's see, did I glue this in? No, I did not. And you're just gonna go and you're just gonna continue gluing your picture, gluing your little leaves to your pumpkins. This one right here, I'm probably going to add a little bit on the back side of it, only because it wants to spoot up a little bit. It also gives a little bit of dimension to your picture as well. Dimension is the artist's best friend. If you see a lot of people doing 3D. And then you're going to go here and add your last one in. I'm going to add one. I'm going to add a little bit of glue on top and a little on the bottom. Because I'm going to push these in. And I'm going to push this one over here on top. Just so that it looks like you have some. And then I'm going to have to glue a little bit here. So as you see in the picture that I showed you in the beginning, I did 3 pumpkins, but I decided when I was working on it that I was going to do an extra half pumpkin so you can see what it looks like to have a full pumpkin patch. Now I'm going to come back with this particular leaf because it was off the paper, and I'm just going to scoot it up a little bit. I'm going to use my letter opener to pop it up a little bit, and I'm just going to slice it and cut it just a little bit so you're not pulling the whole thing up. And there's your picture. Now, when you're getting ready to do the picture and to putting it together, you want to clear off all your supplies. Remember, it's doilies, hot glue gun, paper bag, ruler, scissors, which I'm going to still need my scissors. And if you noticed right here, I'm glad this happened, is that I didn't attach this so well. So I'm going to go back and add a little bit of hot glue right there so it doesn't pop up, and a little bit right here, just so it doesn't pop up a lot. And then, because I know I'm done with my hot glue gun, going to take and turn it off. Best thing you can buy for your toolkit is a hot glue gun with the on-off switch. because then you know after you get done that you don't have to worry about if you forget to unplug it, it's already off. So I am going to clear my workspace a little bit so that we can get ready and do the framing part. And I think this is probably the hardest part, only because of these way frames are made now. They are not my friends, I should say. So you have your frame, and remember we took everything out of the frame to begin with, except for the glass. We left the glass in the frame. So you're gonna go and you're gonna look first, and I noticed you may not see them, but I can see a little bit of hot glue stuff, residue right here. So I'm just gonna come with my letter opener, and it's stuck to my hands right now, and just kind of tilt it a little bit to see if I got all that, what I wanted off, like the little strings off of it. So I can see here, there's some strings, and just pull it off. There's some strings. What you're gonna do is these papers that came with your frame, you're gonna keep, but you're going to put your pumpkin in your pumpkin patch in the frame, like so. So this is what it's going to look like. Then you're going to come behind and you are going to just put that piece of paper that you used for your sizing inside, and then the mat, because you never know when you're going to need a mat. Plus it gives a little bit more sturdiness to your picture. And now here's the hardest part of the whole craft. Putting in this, and watch, I say it's the hardest, but look, it went right in. I struggled with the other one. And then either with your scissors or your letter opener, these little things right here are the worst things ever. You're just going to come and you're just going to close it up. What is your favorite thing about fall? What do you think? What is your favorite thing? Like I said, I used to work at a local agritourism farm that had a pumpkin patch. Actually, next week is their last week. But watching the little kids come, and just everything is so great. The photo, yes, this is a cute idea. Here you go. Look at how pretty you made your picture. And like I said, I cut this because I wanted to give it a little bit of talking point. I cut it so that people would have to go, oh, did you meant to put that in wrong? You're like, no, I did it that way. So to show you how for you guys to talk about it. And there you go. Here's your picture. Now, if you want, let me pull the other one out and we'll do it side by side. See the difference that even the backdrop of the picture can make. This one, I decided that I was going to add the half pumpkin, this one. And then I decided also the colors in one of them made the biggest difference and made it stand out. So it's up to you how you do it. Just like a pumpkin in the patch, there's never the same pumpkin. They're not the same color. It seems like whenever I worked in the pumpkin patch, people always went for the off-color pumpkins. And I love the fact that you can create this craft within 30 minutes. That's my whole point about doing that, is the leaves changing color and the weather. Yes, that's absolutely my favorite. I always say that I live in North Carolina, and I always say that I'm going to go to the mountains during the leaf changing time, but it never seems to happen and be able to do it. But I love the fact that you can put as many pumpkins as you want. You can create this craft. You can make it like this. Actually, this is really cute sitting up like this. I'm not even holding it. You can make a little diorama and put like little stuff here. You can also take these if you have a laminator, and instead of putting them in a frame, laminate them and use them for your Thanksgiving placemats. Your kids get involved. They can actually draw on the pumpkins that they want and make jack-o'-lanterns or whatever. And it's a really great way for you to get your creativity on, give you like 30 minutes to yourself where you're like, okay, I can do this 100%. I can do this with my kids. I can do this by myself. And it just gives you a little bit of a break. And so guys, we're leaving fall this week. This is my last week of fall for fall projects. Next week, we're going into Christmas and Christmas gifts. So I hope you guys really enjoyed coming to my pumpkin patch today. And I hope you create your own pumpkin patch. Until next time, until next week, we'll see you guys then. So happy fall, y'all.